What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the fourth episode of Beside the Point. I'm Zach Quickle, joined here by a very good friend of mine, Aaron Salheb.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, 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 howdy. Aaron, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it took...
Life treating you well?
Yeah, this bourbon's doing good.
Yeah,
Dude.
the bourbon's treating you well,
doing the
too?
trick,
It tends
yeah.
to do that. It tends to do that. Elijah Craig. Yeah.
Small batch. What
Not
is
quite a
this?
sponsor yet. Hopefully, any bourbon that sponsors us.
Is there some kind of regulatory agency that tells you what technically you have to do to be a small batch?
I think it has to do...
Maybe the barrels?
God damn it, I
Like
wasn't
the
ready
oak
for this
barrels?
question. I want to say the oak barrels, but this says father of bourbon.
Maybe he invented it. It says
Well, he didn't invent
1789 on the
He
bottle.
probably invented the Elijah Craig, but he didn't invent the bourbon. I think the small batch has to do with the barrels, actually. Yes, I think
Yeah.
you're right on that.
There's some real strange... I mean, it's actually, as far as something like alcohol, it's like, well, I guess alcohol is really well regulated within its own branches. So, like, bourbons have to be a certain percent of whatever grain,
Yeah,
and ryes have to be a certain percent of rye or whatever. So,
absolutely.
yeah, it's
Cut for a
really
second,
well
hold on.
controlled.
I'll cut this part out. Just flip that. Forgot I need to flip this.
Oh, so you can see?
I'll cut all this part out.
I wouldn't redo. Oh, yeah. That's
Just
looking...
make sure that. Alright, yeah, it still says recording.
solid. Are you in the frame?
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, this is a perfect frame. By the way, I flipped the flag, so we're appropriate now.
All right, we're Gucci.
We're patriots now. And back. Yeah, so yeah, it probably has to do something with the barrels. On the top of it, alcohol though.
Yeah, that was it. That's the one today.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
You want to talk about alcohol?
That's it. Yeah. Just, I would say,
What are your thoughts? Do you dislike alcohol?
I have a love-hate relationship with alcohol.
Mm.
It has both provided me with great experiences that I would not have otherwise had.
Sure.
And
also many heartaches.
yeah, I've run some relationships into the ground because of booze.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's like it's the most quintessential part of being a social being as a young 20-something.
Sure.
You know?
I feel like you find per se confidence, a lot of confidence as a young person with alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, this is the age.
They call it liquid confidence, in fact.
Yeah, liquid courage.
Liquid courage. Yeah.
It's like this is the age where you are trying to secure a partner, or you're trying to develop a friend group that's lasting, or you're trying to shed the yoke of daily stress and all these things. And alcohol it essentially provides a small little package that can provide a reprieve or a relief from all of this. And it's simple. You just drink it, and it makes
Absolutely.
you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to smoke it. It doesn't make you cough. It doesn't.
You can drive around with it.
Yeah.
Can't drive on it, but you don't.
We
have
don't
to worry
condone
about
driving on
Yeah,
alcohol.
don't do that.
Yeah. You don't have to put it, in your nose or in your veins or.
And generally speaking, it's well regulated. Unless you're buying moonshine,
Right.
that's your choice. Whatever.
Still exists.
But yeah, it's something that the product you're going to buy and consume is exactly what it says it is, and that it has X, Y, and Z positive effects and A, B, and C negative effects. My thing though is just I yearn to understand when did booze become the universal activity to engage in at nighttime?
I feel like it's been that way for a long time, way before our time. 80s, 70s, 60s,
Even
50s,
further.
20s, 10s, if that's is that how you say that? 10s?
Yeah, teens maybe.
Teens, yeah, probably.
Even before the 1900s, all the way back to
you think it was a social thing back then?
you know, altering conscious
Before the
states.
20s, before the swingers and the
You mean the Roaring Twenties? What do
yeah,
they call them?
the Roaring 20s. I think you nailed it. But before
Before all of that,
the ban on
I
alcohol,
mean, even
whatnot.
before, what is it? BCE is the appropriate way that historians refer to it. Before the Common Era, before the birth of Christ,
Yeah,
people were getting drunk.
sure.
You know?
Wine,
Alcohol, yeah,
a lot of wine back then.
a lot of wine, a lot of not necessarily what we would think is beer, but technically is probably beer. And then stronger spirits. I mean, distillation is one of the scientific processes that was refined.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended.
Probably equivalent
earlier
to
on.
Keystone Light back in the day. It probably tasted
Yeah.
just as shitty as it does now. That was Keystone Light back in the day.
There's actually a beer. I mean, we're on booze, so I guess I can go on tangents about booze.
Go on
But,
tangents about anything you'd like, Aaron.
There's this Dogfish Head makes a beer called Midas Touch.
Dogfish Head.
Yeah, it's a big deal now because it just came to Oklahoma. They were refusing to come to Oklahoma because we didn't refrigerate, but now they're stepping into the market because, as a preemptive move because we're going to start refrigerating.
They feel like it's getting close.
Well, it is. I mean, we passed that bill.
I hope so.
Well, we passed the bill. It's going to go into effect in
2018, right?
Yeah.
Late 2018, probably?
January is when it begins.
So as soon as 2018 happens, we've got refrigerators in our liquor store.
I'm sure there are plenty of liquor stores that already have their refrigerators in storage. Walmart is just giddy probably right now that they're going to be able to sell
Jack Daniels and Crown Royal.
Wait, are they going to be able to sell liquor?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's part of the law.
I thought it was just wine and beer.
I think it's going to be all major distributors.
I don't know. I remember voting for it.
I voted for it too.
The wording was kind of.
But then
vague,
I read an article about how Oklahomans didn't really know what they were voting for when they passed this law.
Oh man, they did that
and
about
so they're
several
gonna.
laws,
I think they're just gonna slow play us.
Well, Oklahoma's pretty good at pulling the wool over the voters' eyes.
Absolutely.
There was a criminal reform bill or a state question that was dealing with criminal reform in terms of the severity of charges for drug possession. And it passed.
Yeah.
The state question passed as yes. So to reduce the consequences of
penalties for marijuana and whatnot.
Marijuana, controlled substances, anything.
Yeah.
I think really that the language used, especially on the ballot, was vague, and there was this senator. His name is Ralph Shorty. Maybe he's a congressman. I'm almost certain he's a senator, and he spearheaded an attempt to reverse this bill, and his justification for that was that the Oklahoma voters didn't understand what they were voting for, essentially. And then he got caught fucking
basically calling us idiots. Calling us idiots.
Yeah.
Pretty
no,
much.
yeah, he got caught.
Morons.
He got caught with this over a year-long affair with a 17-year-old semi-male prostitute.
Whoa!
They're, doing drugs together, smoking
really?
pot and stuff. Yeah.
Jesus.
And so that kind of.
Not where I thought that was going.
Yeah. And so the attempt to override the will of the Oklahoma voters just kind of dissolved because nobody wanted to stand behind that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No, not at all. But also, with Mary Fallon still in office, I think that's going to have a lot to do with what passes. How much longer on her term does she have? Do you know?
Gosh, I can't believe how politically uninformed.
She's against everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Anything and everything. She's
Seems
against.
like she's against anything that will be beneficial to the state of Oklahoma.
Absolutely. Anything that will promote progress to the state, she is against.
It seems that way, certainly.
She can't have more than 3 years, right?
No.
Maybe 2?
No, 2. 2018 is the next election, gubernatorial election.
And she can't run again, right? Because it's her second term.
I don't know if the executive branch in Oklahoma dictates term limits for governors. However, people got to show up to vote. We had a 29% voter turnout for the last gubernatorial election. And
I don't think I even
this
voted.
presidential election, I was the youngest voter to turn up to my voting
Right,
place.
right. Yeah, yeah.
I'm 25 years old. So there's a whole 7 years of eligible voters
Uh-huh.
that didn't show up to vote.
Yeah. Do you
The
vote in
young-
OKC or do you vote in Edmond?
I vote in OKC.
Edmond, a suburb in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right on. This is actually the first year I was eligible to vote Obama's second term. I could have voted then, but this is the first year that I actually have a voting card and whatnot, and voted Libertarian actually. So
Yeah, I voted for Gary Johnson. Too,
basically, yeah,
'cause I
basically
couldn't
just
make
threw
up
my vote
mind.
away
Yeah.
because I could not actually sit in that poll. Yeah,
I think I was told by some, whenever the election was in its full heat, when we were getting to election day, there was all kinds of information and misinformation floating around.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told that if the Libertarians retained a certain percentage of votes in Oklahoma, that they
They'd
would
stay on the ballot.
continue to stay on the ballot.
Right.
So I wasn't going to vote for Donnie.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. I wasn't going to vote for Hillary. Whoever characterized her as an untrustworthy individual did so well because I didn't trust her. As
Well,
a
this
lifelong
is a
Democrat.
whole different other
Yeah.
spill we could go into.
Yeah. Anyways,
now,
but that's why I voted Libertarian
Yeah.
because
I voted. I knew I casted my vote into the wind, but I could
that
not.
guy was a fucking idiot.
I could not go in there and write and scribble Donald Trump in. I couldn't do it.
I almost just didn't vote for the president of the United States.
Well,
But
I wanted to. It was more just so for me. Just I wanted to exercise my right. It's
Yeah.
like I knew everything was fucked, but like I just wanted to. I registered. I was like, hell yeah! I had a sense of power.
I gotta go.
I just
vote.
wanted to go in and do it, and I knew I threw it into the wind, but I voted for, when they said the least of the two evils.
the least
but
of the three in this case.
yeah, I guess. But
the guy was just. It didn't.
I knew I had no
like-
chance to win.
Yeah,
I knew he had no
that,
chance.
and he just wasn't.
If they're
he
talking
wasn't
about him,
prepared for
it's like,
it.
oh,
He
if
just
we have
wasn't
enough
prepared.
voters for him to stay on the ballot, like no chance for him to win. But
Well, mainly,
I slept well that night.
yeah, I did too. I kinda. I stayed up till like 1:30, and then the election results were so close that I was like, I can't stay up and stress myself out.
Well, not the night that we voted though. Not the night that you voted, right?
No, the night that I voted, that's the same night that election results came out across the United States, and it was
Really?
went on till like 3 in the morning or
Mhm.
whatever Central Time. Golly, but I gave up. I was like, I got to go to bed. I can't do this tonight. I can't sit here and stress out about Donnie Trump being president of the United States.
The D-man Trump.
God, what a goober he
Mhm.
is. He's kind of an asshole.
I think that's without saying. Yeah, absolutely
He's
is.
kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's take this back to
Okay,
alcohol
yeah,
a little bit. We can get into politics for hours, obviously.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
let's get back to alcohol. How do you enjoy alcohol, Aaron? What are your alcohol habits? Tell me how you enjoy alcohol.
There's a whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Are you a social drinker? Do you drink
Totally.
at home by yourself? Do you drink with your parents? Do you drink?
I would
Do you drink to get over things? Do you drink to have fun? What is it? What is it for you?
I would say yes to all those things.
Uh,
But whenever you allow drinking to become a solution to whatever issue you have at hand, whether that be something that is not necessarily the most severe issue
mm-hmm.
or not, then it just kind of wears you down and it becomes a negative thing. So if I were to retain only 3 types of drinking, I would drink, with my parents.
Sure.
I would drink socially with my peers, and if I were to drink by myself, I would only drink wine if I could afford good wine all the time.
I agree with that entirely. Actually,
There's like some fucking artistry going on.
Yeah.
Man. When we went out to California, we got to go up to Sonoma, dude, and we drank wine all day, and it was like incredible. We had like a nice home cooked meal.
Red wine, white guy, white wine guy.
I'm a red guy. Are you?
A couple glasses of bourbon. Dude.
Yeah. It's good
Only
stuff.
red wine. I cannot do white wine.
We had some white wines up there, and I think the whole ambiance and like the experience of being in wine country and being around all
Sure,
these
I bet it's way different.
super rich people
Yeah.
who are just blowing like thousands of dollars on
Yeah.
cases of wine.
Yeah.
I thought all the white wines were impeccable as well. So
Well, that's probably like really nice white wine, though.
it was good, man. Yeah, we had like all kinds of different variations. We had some Chardonnays. We had this like orange Muscat. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Orange Muscat or Muscat? I don't know. Somebody on YouTube will know the answer to that.
It's probably Muscat. Yeah.
Yeah, and several others. We had some blends, and wine for me is the best way to enjoy alcohol because the drunk develops slower. You have to take your time with it, Yeah. If you don't, you're a fool. Like, you got to sit there. You got to enjoy the smell, the flavor, everything. You got to let it just slowly build. But with heavy liquor, like if I'm trying to go out and get drunk, like that's the purpose I have.
You probably wouldn't be sitting around drinking bourbon, though. Also.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be, getting wine and sitting around sipping it. I'd get some Boilermakers.
Yeah.
Like
what the fuck is a Boilermaker?
Shot in a beer.
Shot in a beer?
Yeah.
That's what they call that?
Yeah.
Boilermaker?
Yeah.
Where did you get that from? I've never heard that term, Boilermaker.
I think I was watching Bar Rescue or something. Okay. They said it.
I like it. I'll start using it.
Boilermakers.
Boilermaker.
That might be a good social experiment. Go to the bartenders around town and be like, I want a Boilermaker. I think if it's a true Boilermaker, it's going to be a shot of whiskey and a beer. And I generally think that it's the cheapest beer and the cheapest whiskey.
Sure. You give these nicknames. Several of our buddies go up and order those Coors Originals.
Oh, yeah.
As Yellow Bellies.
Yeah.
They say, I'll take a Yellow Belly.
Yeah, I wonder
know exactly
where
what
that
it is.
originated from. Some
Colorado,
guy,
I'd assume.
Genius in the 60s or
Colorado,
70s.
probably.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that was I like craft beer. But only at home. I don't want to go to a bar and spend $9 on a beer because it's a one-time run of some
Well, that's the 6-pack of craft beer that you could buy at a liquor store is at $9, you know, for one beer.
Exactly. So if I'm going to go drink beer at a bar, I'm going to do something like Yellow Belly or some other minimally crafty beer, something that's easy to drink and easy to drink several of. And then when I'm feeling good and ready, I'm good and ready. I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
I saw you say that. And I've been out with you several times, and I know you're telling the truth, but you have been ordering that watermelon gosa.
Oh yeah, that one kind of stands out.
That's a good one. And I heard the bartender at this certain bar we're talking about, the Pump, also an Oklahoma City bar. I heard her describing this beer to somebody sitting by me, and that she was like, "Yeah, they make this beer especially for us. It's like nobody else gets it but us. But we sell it in cans at Bricktown Brewery. That watermelon gosa, we have it at Bricktown Brewery."
Man, if you're a bartender,
also a bar in the city.
Yeah, if you're a bartender, you have almost infinite leeway with bullshitting people.
I agree.
Because they're gonna get drunk.
It's so fucking enjoyable too.
I mean, you just pull the wool over people's eyes. You oversell and you make.
You're not
good money.
supposed to oversell.
Well,
but those are the best
America,
tippers.
there is no fucking bartender in America that I've run into that's been like, Liz, wait, actually, I'm wrong. There's one bartender I've encountered, and I asked her, how much is a shot of Fernet? And she said, how about a water? Brought me a water, didn't get back to me for the rest of it. I sat there for 20 minutes or so, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going to leave.
Wow.
Yeah. That wasn't the only thing she said. She said, the first thing she said was, that's not even a question, so I'm not going to answer it. Which is a logical
just didn't know what
fallacy
Fernet
in and of
was?
itself, because if she is admitting that she had the possibility of answering it, then it was a question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw the Fernet. It was sitting right there, so it's usually a safe bet. If you're a bartender and you go to a bar anywhere in the United States, the assumption is that if you order Fernet, that you also work at a bar.
Huh.
It's the bartender's handshake.
I don't think we have Fernet at Bricktown Brewery though. I don't think we have it.
She gets some. It's just like
We might.
it's coming back.
I don't know.
It's coming back. It's making a real good.
I want to look. I don't even have my phone near me, or I would look it up. But I don't
People
think we
keep
have it.
saying it's like Jägermeister, but I don't get that vibe. You've had it before, right?
Yeah, I've had it once. It has the texture and color of Jägermeister.
Yeah, it's but you know, and it's got some of that licorice anise flavor, but it's super bitter, super menthol-y, like a minty, but not minty like fresh mint, more of just like that.
A mixture
burning
between
menthol.
Rumpelmints and Jägermeister.
Yeah, but not sweet. Not sweet at all. They make a sweet version called Fernet Menta, which is
I hear them say that they offer you two different
Menta and
versions
Branca.
of. You
Branca's
get Branca every time.
Yeah, that's the OG. That OG Kush. Yeah, that's like
OG Kush, weed's not legal here. You can't say that, Eric. You can't say that.
weed is a
Jesus.
weed is
Jesus.
okay. See, here's we started. I think the topic was why throughout history did it develop that drinking became the go-to activity of the evening in Oklahoma, actually, and I guess across the United States. One element that's been removed from that is good drunk food. Should be everywhere, and it's not.
Well, I think it is. I think good drunk food is available. My argument would be that better drunk food needs to be available.
Yeah, like
Because what we have is McDonald's, Taco Bell,
yeah,
Whataburger.
fucking
Whataburger is like the
best
top dog,
of the
and
as far
it's
as
not
fast food
even
goes.
that great. It's still terrible. And I think that's pretty much it, really.
Dude,
Del Taco is here too. That's a step up.
but
We're making
I'm
moves.
talking about that guy sitting outside of Edna's every fucking night serving up kielbasa. Not kielbasa, just Polish sausage, which I don't fucking know my sausage, so let's just go with whichever the dude. With sauerkraut and mustard. You know, when I was in San Fran, I was with our friend Caleb and Winkler too, baby Winky. And
Baby Wink, watch this episode, you bitch.
we were at this club called the Elbow Room. And there was this dude with just like literally like half of this table and less, even like half, a quarter of this table. And it was a griddle, and he just had like all kinds of dogs.
Was he in a truck?
No, just sitting in like
On the
a
street?
plastic chair in the middle of the street.
Wow.
And dude, it was literally the best hot dog I've had in years.
How drunk were you?
I had a few.
Yeah.
A couple.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it was.
It's
good.
hard to fuck up a hot dog, though. Really, it is.
Yeah, but I mean, like it was a good quality dog. It wasn't like a
So
fucking.
was it a brat or was it a dog?
Yeah, it was a brat. So it was like, there was some texture to the meat. It wasn't just like a crumbly like Oscar Mayer. Fucking God knows what's in this thing.
Oh, I'd rather not know, man.
But I just fantasize about these different countries, especially in Southeast Asia, which I've never had the opportunity to travel to. But you see it on, Travel Channel, Anthony Bourdain and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's like they've got street food vendors everywhere, all kinds of fried delicacies and just some
Go
shit
ahead,
that
Cam.
you'll
Walk
never
across.
see.
You're fine. Sorry for the interruption. There's a small puppy who needs to go to the restroom.
That's a dog, folks.
We were talking about Cam, not Ellie.
I mean, dude, when people get drunk in certain populated areas of Southeast Asia, there is like a smorgasbord of food available.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, it is fast food.
Well, I actually
so to
don't
speak.
know. I actually don't know.
It's fast food, so to speak, but it tastes good. And you probably don't have the fucking runs for 3 days afterwards because you got drunk and you ate Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So but that culture isn't available here. It's like
The drunk food culture.
the good drunk food culture, like the drive-through.
Like the stands that are open all
Yeah.
night, all day. You know.
Yeah, they're very few and far between here in Oklahoma City.
It's probably a good market to go into.
Perhaps. I mean, the bar scene is popping in this town. And again,
Well, start with the food trucks. The food trucks are amazing here. It's just they
that's
close so early.
I guess that Blue Garden place. There's the Blue Garden. You know,
Well, Blue Garden still closes at 2 though. You know.
yeah,
so,
and the food trucks close earlier.
Yeah. It's like if there were, I think there's one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That there's a taco truck there that stays open till like 5 or something. Maybe all night around,
There's
all
actually,
day around.
yeah, there's like a one
And
that
they're
serves
great
burgers
tacos.
and wings outside of the Yeti in Tulsa that stays open till 3. I just think that is the biggest factor that is lacking.
Yeah.
Is like.
Well, are you gonna run that? Do you wanna be in a food truck
No,
from fucking
God.
12 a.m. to 12 p.m.?
I did not get an engineering degree to do that for sure. I'm already working
I
at a
wouldn't want to
restaurant.
either.
That's like an added level of complexity and stress. Like,
But there are people who have degrees in like restaurant management and stuff like that. That
end up doing
they
something
should
like that.
they should want to do that. You know, they should be the first pioneer to do that in Oklahoma.
Well, and okay,
There's all these
at least
culinary
for sure.
schools and in Oklahoma, but
There's a lot of good food here, but it's less accessible than say booze.
yeah,
Booze is after 10 p.m. in Oklahoma City. Booze is the easiest thing
absolutely.
to find.
We keep straying away from booze, but that's why the show is called
Yeah.
Beside the Point.
I mean-
it's because you're free to go off on tangents.
Yeah.
as you will.
Yeah, and booze is everywhere, and it is. If you're not drinking booze, you're gonna have a hard time hanging out in a social setting in
Sure.
Oklahoma City.
Sure, because everybody else is gonna be drinking booze.
Yeah, everybody else is drinking booze all night long in Oklahoma City.
Especially, let's touch on that in like smaller towns. It's like Oklahoma City. I feel like I've lived here all my entire life. Have you? You have as well,
me
right?
Too, me too.
So I feel like more so a little bit back in the day, more so probably 10 years ago, we were a little bit smaller city, a little bit smaller, suburbs,
Yeah, the
smaller
scene
towns
was
and
definitely
whatnot.
smaller.
Yeah. Now with like the OKC Thunder and whatnot, we're kind of making our way up in the map, which is really cool also. But I want to touch on like there's not a whole lot to do in smaller towns and smaller cities like this. When you don't live in, as you mentioned earlier, San Francisco, and you don't have that whole scene, or Orlando, Florida, maybe I guess is the first example, or maybe the second example that's coming up to me right now, or New York or anything like that. It's when you live in a small city or a small town rather. It's like your options are. You go in a field and you smoke pot, or you go to a house party and you drink
beer.
you drink a 30-pack of beers,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, or it's just kind of like an escape from reality at the end of the day.
absolutely.
So in those smaller towns,
Regardless of where you are, it's to escape from reality. I just
Totally.
think it's more apparent in smaller.
I think it would be easy to correlate the fact that a lot of small towns in Oklahoma have high concentrations of meth users,
Right.
and because there's no social scene
Uh-huh.
there, like maybe there's like one bar,
Yeah.
maybe 2 if they're lucky,
Uh-huh.
and
But there are bars that people are doing meth in. I
Well,
guess
well,
if you want to
maybe- I
get
don't
into
know
the
about
whole
that.
meth thing, I
don't
guess.
know. I just
in-
know that
in
there's a higher
Oklahoma?
concentration in smaller towns of concentration being the key word here. Not a higher number, but a higher number per land area. And I think that has to do with the fact that there isn't a social outlet like drinking like we have all over the place here.
Right.
It's like all of these bars wouldn't be here if there wasn't a desire for Oklahoma City residents to be at these places.
Right.
And I guess the kernel
Absolutely.
that we just keep tending towards on this conversation is why? Why is that the solution? Why has that become the solution?
Yeah.
Or why has that always been the solution? Why did we develop alongside alcohol so strongly that no matter where you go in the United States, if you're going out at nighttime, you're gonna be probably drinking or being around people who are drinking if you don't drink.
Well, it's just a lubricant, man. It's just a lubricant for your senses, for your personality. Even it's like I honestly, I've had people tell me that I'm a lot nicer when I'm a little bit drunk.
Yeah, there's a whole spectrum on that one too.
Yeah, I mean, it's
some
like
people are just dicks.
yeah, I mean, absolutely, and I feel like you and I are both very well. A personal opinion, I feel like you and I are very fortunate to live in like closer to the city of Oklahoma. You know, we're not. How do I word this carefully?
Not in
We're
the
not.
suburbs.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, I grew up in the suburbs, but that's still like I could be in Oklahoma City in 10 minutes.
Yeah, like
You
deep
know, I'm right
Oklahoma
there.
City.
So like I've never really. I can't really credit my drinking ability to just having nothing to do because I'm in a small town. You know. But
Yeah, I don't know what I just kind of grew up around it. Like this is normal for me. Sitting around drinking after the age of 18. You were always
well, that's
we were
actually a
always
good
drinking.
point. Regardless of where you grew up in Oklahoma, there's still not much to do other than get drunk with your friends.
Yeah, smoke some cigarettes. You know, some people go home and smoke reefer. I don't do that. Okay, folks. I mean, yeah.
It's not legal
I
here
can't.
yet. It's not legal here yet, guys.
I can't. I got to find a job.
We're not,
I don't want somebody to think that, I can't handle my
Absolutely.
business because they see, oh,
Yeah.
he smoked pot maybe once.
No.
And in the past
Aaron
30
has
days.
never hit a single
Ever.
minuscule little seed of pot in his life. He's never done it. He's never done it.
Yeah.
Hire him.
Oh,
There
man.
you go. Yeah,
Reefer
video
madness.
evidence right there. Yeah, video evidence.
Video evidence, folks. This
Yeah.
is, no, I don't know, man. It's just
The drinking, yeah.
the drinking is there and it's inescapable, and
So you think it's inescapable to people in small towns and then also people in major towns or major cities? I mean, like, is because that's how I that's kind of how I justify my drinking a little bit. Is like, oh, what the fuck else am I gonna do? Am I gonna go to a movie? Sure, I'll do that during the day. But then what am I gonna do in the night? You know, it's there's little lame things like laser tag, or that's really all I can think of. There's not much to do else around here. It's like,
Dude.
you think that's the same thing in major cities? You
I
think they feel the
suppose
same way?
there's more like niche outlets in the sense of there are little communities and of different subcultures and different types of ideas floating around where perhaps you're in an environment where it's late at night and you're not drinking, but you're still having a good time.
Yeah.
Those things exist. But probably, if I had to guess, they're all based on altering your state of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps not in a substance-based way, but more of immersing yourself in some type of situation or some type of conversation, some type of environment that will remove you from your constant reality of work and love and family and all of these things, and place you in an alternative reality where you don't have to think about any of those things. You've allowed this environment to overtake your being for the time being.
And a lot of people, that's probably the only way they can not think about that,
Well,
or,
yeah,
or their life, or whatever they're doing in their life. You know, it's their only escape. You know, it's the only thing that allows them to think about something else.
Yeah, totally.
If that makes sense.
I honestly think that that's why so many people our age drink. It's hard to find a job. It's hard to find a decent partner that will love you. It's hard to...
our age, we're 24. Are you 25?
I'm 25.
I'm 24. You're 25. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I think it starts way earlier than that.
Yeah, like when
Like
you're getting
18
out of high
maybe.
school.
18.
You get out of high school and You know, you think like, oh, I'm so free. Like the world is my oyster. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm so young. I have all this opportunity in front of me.
Absolutely. But you still don't really know who you are.
Yeah.
And that,
no, you're right. You don't.
yeah.
Your intelligence is still developing. Your emotions are still developing.
Yeah.
Your
personality, man, like just everything about you is still developing. So alcohol kind of, like I said earlier, lubricates that and allows you to go out and just kind of be like force forward, like push yourself
Put
on other
yourself
people.
out
You
there,
know,
yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's I can applaud alcohol for that in that way, but it's I can
say it's done a lot of damage in my life.
absolutely.
It's created a lot of
not to
rift.
get dark or anything. Like I mean, like I'm
you
still
have
here.
To
I'm still
approach the negativity
yeah,
too, though.
Yeah.
I think
it's a part of life.
It's a self-indulgent activity.
Mm.
It's a bunch of people sitting around in one area doing something that makes them feel good. So then they feel satisfied. They feel happier about themselves. And then when they release all of that stress and all of that tension, thinking about how miserable they are because they've allowed themselves to relax a little bit with some booze, then they're allowed to be themselves again.
Yep.
And that way of being is possible without booze. But booze makes it infinitely easier.
Mm.
And because it's a shortcut like that, it also has problems.
Absolutely. Now, would you argue if you get too comfortable in that, would it be harder to have that kind of mentality and atmosphere and personality without booze because you're too used of being that way with booze? If that,
yeah,
I hope I worded that way.
That's
like
kind of like
if you get too comfortable, just like only letting yourself go
when you're drinking.
Yeah, and then you kind of cut the booze out of your life.
No, that's what addiction is for sure.
Yeah. You said the A word.
Yeah.
You said the A word, Aaron.
if you're constantly drinking, like we drink quite a bit.
Sure.
You know, it's summertime.
Sure.
I just graduated. I've got every excuse in the world to get drunk. But if you're constantly drinking and when you're sober in the daytime, you're thinking to yourself, Jesus Christ, like slow down a little bit. You're teetering on addiction, if not already completely there.
Right.
And at that point, all of the positive things they begin to lose their merit.
Mm-hmm.
They begin to not be so positive anymore. And you begin to tend towards, I've seen this a lot, people getting angry, people being combative, people dissolving and destroying relationships with their friends and their loved ones and their family. People essentially shitting all over their life because they want to get drunk.
Yep.
So, and that's can happen to anyone. You don't have to be genetically predisposed to alcoholism or any other type of addiction for that to happen. You just got to be careful, dude. Like my dad always says, there's nothing wrong with partying. There's nothing. That's a really cool thing, I think.
Damn, did he cut it off there? Did he cut it off there?
No.
Hey, Aaron, just so you know, there's nothing wrong with partying.
No, there
said?
Totally isn't. There's nothing wrong with partying. There's nothing wrong with going out with your friends and having a good time, having some drinks. Totally okay. Like, that's an acceptable thing to do.
Yeah.
But when...
I thought he was going to say something super, like, philosophical after that.
No,
he just said, Aaron,
no. He did.
There's nothing wrong with partying.
That wasn't the end of it.
But I thought there was going to be a but there.
Well, he gives a generic answer and then he expounds on it. After that, he says, "There's nothing wrong with partying, but everything in moderation." And then
there you go.
He goes on to say, because if all of your life, if all of your days are geared towards you at the end of the day, going and partying, you're not going to be fulfilled. You're going to be stuck in this cycle of going out and being mildly satisfied at nighttime and then coming home and feeling like you didn't accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. And that is the shortfall of booze. It sets the stage for you to have a successful, happy evening, and then it either doesn't take that next step to make the fullness happen, or it goes in the total opposite direction and just starts fucking your life up.
Absolutely.
You know,
I feel like there's a certain age where that really hits, though. Also,
it's ours.
or maybe not a certain age. Yeah, you're correct. But once you have more to lose, though, like a child or
family.
a relationship,
Yeah.
or a child or a job or
Yeah. Oh,
all
yeah.
those things.
I haven't had a child, but I've put relationships at jeopardy, and I've put jobs
Absolutely.
at jeopardy
Yeah.
because I wanted to stay out a little bit longer and drink.
Mm-hmm.
The same guy, my father, who said there's nothing wrong with partying, also said nothing good happens after 3 a.m. And I kind of, after all this time being out and about, I kind of am starting to agree with him.
Yeah.
Nothing
I agree.
really good happens after 3 a.m. That's when the demons start to crawl out of the woodwork, man. And that's when things shit just
3
gets
a.m.
heavy.
Huh? That's the marker.
Yeah, that's the one.
3 a.m.
I don't know if you're superstitious. Take it to 3:33.
Well done. Well, let's wrap it up there, Aaron.
Okay.
Thank you
All right.
very much
wait,
for
hold
joining
on.
me tonight.
I gotta plug my show.
Sure.
If you're in Oklahoma, in the metro area, come down to Norman August 16th. Mark your calendars. August 16th, 9 p.m. to midnight, in Norman, Oklahoma, at the Blue Bonnet Bar. Myself and my colleague are gonna play a show, acoustic guitars.
Colleague?
Yeah, the guy I
Is
play
it just
music
your
with.
friend?
Yeah, it's
You're
just a
probably
homie.
your friend. Probably just your friend.
We're filling the bear. It's like a 2-piece acoustic thing. I think we're gonna have a drummer this time, and we're gonna play music. And the drinks are literally the cheapest drinks in Norman and Oklahoma City, $2 whiskey shots. So come on down, do the thing that we said was both bad and good this evening, and have a good time.
What day did you say that was?
August 16th at
August
9 p.m.
16th.
Blue Bonnet Bar on Main Street in Norman.
August 16th in Blue Bonnet Bar. This will probably be up, what is today? The 27th of
27th. I watched
July?
the date on my watch.
28th of July, probably? Yeah, so August 27th. This will probably go up, I would assume.
No, August 16th. August 16th.
August 16th, sorry. This will go up in a week, so yeah, you'll definitely have plenty of time. Yeah,
Perfect.
that's plenty of advertisement. Awesome. But anyways, Aaron, thank you for joining me.
Anytime, bud. I had a good time.
Yeah. That was the 4th episode of Beside the Point. Thank you for joining us. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and probably other shit as well. So, find us.